In this video, I'm going to show you in real time, with no cuts or edits, how long it takes to set up and break down my Topo Toppers Mesa camper.
When I'm out on an actual trip, when I roll into camp, there's a lot to do. There's other stuff to set up, there's other stuff to film, the campsite, might be a campfire to build, some dinner to cook. And a lot of times I'm just tired from having been on the trail, running around, filming all day long. So usually all you get is a quick glimpse, a couple of details, setting up the camper, maybe a couple of quick details in the morning, shutting it down. I wanted to make this video to show you really truly what's involved with those setups and breakdowns, and also to show you that even though I cut it down in the videos because I just think it would be boring to watch all of that in the context of a larger trip, it actually truly is genuinely really fast and really easy.
First, I'm going to demonstrate how quickly you can go from the driver's seat to being in bed and then back on the road in the morning. This is not how I normally camp, but on long road trips, sometimes you just need to pull off on some public land and sleep. The cat doesn't usually go on road trips, but he insisted on helping make this video. Because all my bedding is able to stay in place in the upper tent area, at this point I can crawl directly into bed and go to sleep. In the morning, all I need to do is tidy my bedding and climb down. Sliding this bed panel towards the rear isn't strictly necessary, but it prevents the tent material from drooping down into the camper and blocking the window. Closing the tent just takes a few initial tucking movements to encourage the canvas to fold inward, and a few final tucks to ensure it's all inside. I check both sides to make sure nothing is sticking out, then secure the rear latches. I've forgotten to secure the front latches, but I actually do that a lot. I've driven hundreds of miles with them unlatched, but nothing's going anywhere with the rear secured. Coming up next, I'll show you how I more typically use the camper, including stowing the bed to make full use of the interior space. As before, I've arrived in camp and need to open all the latches. My 5-gallon bucket with a tightly sealed lid is my trash receptacle, and I leave it outside overnight. That space is a perfect spot to stash my boots out of the way once I take them off for the night. Again, I'm popping up the tent, then sliding the rear bed panel out of the way. But since I'll want to be able to stand up and move around inside the camper later, I typically stow the bed immediately as I'm setting up camp. First, I fold my sleeping bag over into the cab over area. Next, I move the rear section of mattress on top of that. And then, I stack the bed panels up out of the way. As you can see, this operation just takes a matter of seconds, and then I've got full use of the camper and I'm ready to enjoy the evening. Once I'm ready to be inside for the night, I climb in and close up the back.
Now, if I'm camped out in the middle of nowhere and it's not very cold, I a lot of times won't even bother with covering the windows. But if I'm camped with people or camped someplace where people might show up, or if it's cold and I just want the extra thermal protection, I will go ahead and cover all of the windows, and that just involves sliding down this shade. The front window is currently just this piece of cardboard that fits into here. And then under my pillow here I have the curtain for the back window. And this is super basic. This is just a piece of canvas that I've got self-adhesive Velcro on, which aligns with self-adhesive Velcro I have on the back window here. And I just pop that up.
I'll often hang out on the couch here and review the day's footage. Once I'm feeling sleepy, it's time to deploy the bed. Again, it just takes a matter of seconds to move the panels into place, reposition the rear section of mattress, then climb up, unfold my sleeping bag, and I'm ready to sleep. In the morning, since I want to be able to again use the full space of the camper, I stow the bed immediately upon getting up. Now I've got comfortable standing room to get dressed, and depending on the weather, sometimes I even make my coffee in here. If I've put up the window coverings the night before, then after I'm dressed and ready to see the world, I just take the curtains back off. That pulls off of there, folds up. After maybe hiking around a bit and filming the sunrise, making breakfast, and packing up the rest of camp, I'm ready to break down the camper. The bed needs to be flattened back out so the roof can close. And again, I pull this panel towards the rear so the tent material stays upstairs. Then it's just a question of closing everything up like you saw earlier. Now I'm ready for another day of exploring and another campsite somewhere down the road. Just a quick side note here, on a typical night of camping, I roll into camp and I'm going to be leaving the next morning, which is usually what I'm doing even on longer trips. I rarely open these windows all the way like this. It's evening when I get there. I don't need them down. And in the morning, if I'm just getting up and packing away camp, I just tend to leave them mostly closed. Now, if I get up in the morning and I've accumulated a little condensation and it's dry outside, I might open up the windows and let things air out while I'm making breakfast and stuff like that. Typically, I do leave them mostly closed. Now, I never close them all the way. I typically leave them about like this. That allows the air to escape when the tent is closing down. At night when I go to bed, I might close them a little bit more. I do always leave them a little bit open, even on the coldest of nights, so that I do have a little bit of ventilation to help keep condensation at a minimum.
I hope you found that interesting or helpful in some way. If you have any questions about any of this, please just post them in the comments below. And thank you for watching.